All right. Hey, hey. Welcome back, guys. All right, let's get into a specific message. I have this image in my head of somebody dropping something and it just like totally shattering. Now, it was definitely something made out of like ceramic or glass, but it was kind of chalky. So I don't know if it was like a mug or even like a vase or something, or even something made out of plaster, or like, when if you've gone to one of those like pottery places, and you know you can buy the greenware and then you paint it up yourself, and then they glaze it and fire it in the kiln for you, but it was like powdery. So I don't know, to me, what it was saying to me in my mind's eye is that you can't glue this back together, because it was like chalky and powdery. It wasn't like, sometimes you drop something and it breaks into three pieces and you can glue it back together. The vase is fine. Sometimes you shatter a cup or a plate, but again, earthenware breaks into a couple chunks. You pitch it into the garbage, or you hold on to it, smash it up a little bit more and make a mosaic out of it. But this wasn't that. This was like something is shattered and it's not coming back together because it turned into like dust powder. Hey guys, Eduardo, you were first. Welcome, honey. AC, Misso, the Peaceful Observer, Lulu, Lisa, so great to see you guys tonight. All right, so let's keep all that in mind as we start this story about something that has shattered and is not going to be able to be glued back together. We have a Two of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so someone's options or the way they thought they could go right or left, maybe it's like, no, I can't. I'm not even standing here in the position of power and thinking that I have choices anymore. This is it. I have, like, the die has been cast. This is the direction I'm going. There is no going back. This could be good or this could be bad. Honestly, the Two of Wands can be like a difficult card, because it's somebody who gets like trapped in between not knowing which to do. Do I go right or do I go left? So they stay at the crossroads for a long time. So in the reverse, I usually look at that as better, because somebody's made the decision. Queen of Swords. Okay. Queen of Swords, although we see her as like transparent, she has got her sword upright, and this is decision making nation. We have got it. We have figured it out. That's it. This is what I'm doing. And I would say we have a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius that is fading out. They're done. They've checked out already. This could be somebody who's made the decision, I'm quitting. I'm giving my 2 weeks. I am leaving. I've already made the announcement. So now they can fade me out. They can start giving my shifts to somebody else. They can start transferring my workstation over to somebody else, because I'm fading out and it's on her terms. This Queen of Swords, whether she's masculine or feminine, is fading out. Wow, Queen of Cups. And this is like, okay, so that broken imagery in my mind where things turn to dust, it's like that was the option of remaining is gone. This is not where our character wants to be anymore. I have no idea why, but this is not where our character wants to be. Oh, just a second. Lisa, honey, maybe are you logged in on a different device right now? I know that in the chat, depending on what device you're on, there can be issues. Sometimes people, depending on what device they're on, they can't even write in the chat, even though they're members and subscribers and have been for a long time. It's the only thing that I know of that can cause that weird little hiccup. So I'm sorry if you guys are members and your name is not showing up green. That maybe is something to look at. I don't know for sure. I think you would have to check. And I think there's even a way that you can like click a little button and then it'll pop up on in the chat. That'll be like, Lisa's been a member for 1 month, and it'll show up in a big green bar. I'm not exactly sure how to click that, but Lisa, that might be something that you'll be able to access, but I think it might be device sensitive. Okay. Sorry guys, but I just didn't want to, my eyes caught that, and I wanted to see if I can try to like guide or give a little bit of ideas on what might be going on there. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here. Members, subscribers, everybody. Thank you so much, guys. If this situation is one where she's fading out, let me tell you, she's thrilled about it. And she's like cleaning house. She's over here washing her mug with gusto. She's over here ready to fill up her cup with something else. This is like a flurry of excitement now. So this is a good thing. Normally, if we think about dropping something, breaking something, we don't think of it as a good thing, but I think we do this time. Ten of Swords. Yeah, because number one, it was time to go, right? We've got the little egg timer here, and we've got the end of something painful. I'm picturing somebody who has the like, you know, the like hanging light bulbs that you put like in your tree. They for like celebrations or around the summertime. I have a set that are like solar powered that I hang around the hot tub. But like that kind of light bulb is something she may have decorated, or this is like the light bulb has gone off and off and off and off in her head that like I need to leave this situation. She literally might be washing dishes and drop or crack a cup, and that could be like a cup that was associated with whatever the situation is that she's leaving. It could be very symbolic. It feels like she's sloshing water or she's dropping something in a bucket of water. But again, this is almost like, you know, the Greeks say, "Opa," you know, it's a celebration. It doesn't feel bad, which is fantastic. She may be Greek. She has beautiful, glorious hair. Every Greek person I ever met had gorgeous, gorgeous hair. So I could definitely see that as being someone who maybe has a connection somewhere to Greece. She may also really like fantasy type books, movies, films. She's got the little elf ears, and I almost feel like this is kind of like cosplay or something. She may dress up in like time period piece costume or fantasy-esque costume for Halloween's or for, you know, whatever, Comic-Con or something like that. She may do like makeup, hair, even to like for a living, but she could also do it because it's a hobby. It could be like she does professional makeup and hair, but she could also be good enough to do this, you know, in Hollywood if she wanted to. This feels like very talented, divine feminine. And we'll say she throughout this, even though please bear in mind, I guess technically it could be masculine, but right now it's feminine, feminine, feminine. So we have a 10 of Wands. This is such an end of a chapter for her. And we got this gigantic, like, squid monster coming up from the depths of the ocean. And it's like, whatever this was, it was dragging her down. And I do think something was anchoring her, was sucking her down. This could be somebody who's leaving one career path to go into a different one to follow her passion. And it's like, it is high time. This was like draining my life force energy. I don't know though. I don't want to commit to that being the story just yet. She could also have a cat that has like tiger stripes, or it could be an orange cat. I'm sorry, that looks more like a cat tail to me right now than and the cat's tail could particularly be very communicative. You know how cats sometimes like their little tail does all kinds of extra little twitches and stuff. And I'm just picturing that like she may have a cat that's got some attitude also that tends to swish its little tail. And that could be like another like great representation of her. That could be her little familiar. That could be something that is like, if there's a pet that stays with her or stays close to her, they may really have an attitude that's very similar to her. She's got this kind of like really deep red hair. This is bright orange. I'm picturing she's got some pizzazz to her. We have a 7 of Pentacles. All this definitely starts to feel more and more and more like work. She has been like working in the coal mines for somebody, and they're getting rich off of her ideas. And I think this is her saying, I've stayed as long as I needed to. I've got something great on a resume now, but let me tell you, I've learned all I could possibly learn there. I've been an exemplary employee, but at this point, they're sapping me, and I'm just working super, super, super hard. I've already paid my dues. I'm not staying in the coal mines anymore. I deserve to go onward and do more. Now, certainly this could still be about a relationship too. I'm not staying in a relationship where I'm not getting anything out of it. But we don't see love here. We don't see romance here. We only see with the Queen of Cups, she's ready to like love her own life. 3 of Wands, and here she goes in her cape, strutting her stuff. Somebody could illustrate a children's book, by the way, or have an idea to do that. There's this energy of, I'm off on this adventure. And it's almost like I could see her like narrating her own story of her own life in this very animated way. She could be great at conveying her life story and her journey to like friends in like very funny animated ways. She may describe herself as like a character. And yet I just feel like the big huge bright wild world that she gets to march into and trudge her way through the jungles of life, it just feels like she does it with this very jolly, very excited, and very I don't want to say it like, and a true adventurer's spirit, but with this certain artistic flair to her. I really feel like she could do like graphic design, or she could do like illustration, or she could do, I mean, maybe it's even like something digital cartooning, or maybe she's got a background in something like that. I know it's very specific, but I could see her having a real knack for like adorable storytelling. We've got Seven of Wands. On this next phase of her journey, and this is a journey, right? She is leaving behind a whole chapter of her life. I feel like she's kind of set financially as she exits whatever this is. She could take a severance package. She could be retiring. She could be retiring early. And she's like, I got everything I needed out of it. I don't need to stay any longer. I'm fed up with the way things are. I'm going to take my emeralds and I'm going to bounce. But I feel like she's leaving comfortable and she's ready to embark on her new journey. But almost immediately she's going to meet. This is kind of like we're telling a story of like almost like Winnie the Pooh story where, this happens and then that happens. And then, she leaves and she goes off into the forest. And who does she come upon but, this sad little ogre all by himself in the dark forest who got lost. It almost feels like her journey is, it's actually really sweet. It's a real turn of events, but I kind of feel like on a more realistic level, she is retiring or quitting. But the next step in her journey, which is all this is on her terms. I don't think she's hard up for cash. I don't think she's desperate to go find more work. I don't think she's desperate for anything. I think this is fun. If she's leaving where she lives, again, it's on her terms. She might be traveling. She may say, I don't want to find a place to live permanently for the next couple months, maybe the next 3 months. I want to explore. I want to go on a road trip first. But on that road trip or on this journey, she meets somebody else who needs some help. This little fella here, he's lost, and the mice are trying to help him too, but the mice are sometimes troublesome. Mice can represent worries, fears that we have. And it's so crazy because it feels like she's going to encounter someone who, although she's had big change in her life, it was on her terms. So she's in a power position, and whomever she meets next could be at a disadvantage. They could be somebody who feels like, I lost my job. I didn't retire. I didn't quit on my terms with a nice severance package. I lost my job. She could meet somebody who needs her guidance, who needs her support, whomever this person is. The star. She's like being drawn to them. And this, we'll call it the odyssey of this feminine is like on her own odyssey, right? She may as well be a character out of a Homeric Odyssey, because we're seeing how her life takes her on these twists and turns, and she meets someone who she's been drawn to. She is their lucky star. She is going to give other people good fortune and possibly healing. Look, she's the unicorn in this story. Everything has been going right for her. You notice that this is her not being at a crossroads. This is her making decisions. This is her loving the choices that she's made. Everything is happening the way she wants it to. So she's in the power position throughout this whole story. So she is the unicorn. Maybe she's learned how to work with the flow of the universe, and maybe she said, universe, I want to do better. Give me something that is really like worthy of my talents and gifts, universe. Let me do things to help heal other people, or let me be on a life path that's truly right for me. I surrender to whatever my gifts are. It really feels like that's the unique thing about her. She's kind of tapped into universal flow. To be bold enough to quit stuff, leave stuff, walk away from stuff, and be like, oh, I don't know what comes next. I only know this is the end of the road for me here. And it's time that I take everything that I've earned. I cash out my 401k. I grab my severance package. I let go of the previous life and I'm ready for like my truer life path now. I think whatever she did for a living before, she was excellent at. I think it served its purposes in her life, but she knows when she's done. And I would just say that to me is evidence of somebody who knows who they are and what path they're taking in life and why they're taking certain paths. So I would say it's fair to argue she is in, energy with those around her. She's like in sync with those around her. Oh my gosh, AC, thank you, sweetheart. I saw all this green showing up on my screen. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh. AC, did you have a tough day today? And here you are being so generous with everybody else. Oh, you angel. AC, thank you. If you guys don't know this, AC just gifted 10 memberships once again. Once again, you've done this so many times, AC, I've lost count. But Victoria R., Bethany Bonk, Morg's Machine, Blessed Star, Ms. Hermit, Tessa Kelly, Jamie's Cowboys, Jessie T, Norma B, and True Nam 1111. You guys are all members now, courtesy of AC. Oh, you sweetheart. Thank you so much, honey. Thank you. You are so incredibly generous. I'm sorry you were having a rough day. To say thank you and maybe to just give you a little bit of a hug. Can I pull a card for you at the end of this, honey? You know it's just fictional storytelling, and I know it's not much of a way for me to thank you when you're giving so much to everybody else, but it's what I've got. Thank you again, AC. I'll watch the comments to see what your response is. You sweetheart. Awesome. All right, AC, I'll pull one for you at the end here. We have the World card. I love the direction this storyline has been going. I love this. It's so much more empowered. This really is her next big, huge journey. This really is her next big, huge small TV, you angel. Thank you, honey. This really is her next big journey into her next chapter, whatever that may be. Yes, she has a big purpose. Yes, she has a life purpose. And yes, she is definitely on it. Talk about like endings and new beginnings for her. But can we go back to whomever this is? You know, I said she may be taking a bit of a little trip. She may be traveling about. She may be following her divine like pathway. And this is her possibly traveling, but this could be global travel. I was just thinking maybe she's going to, like I said, take a sabbatical or, cash out her 401k or, retire, early because she can, and then spend that time living life before she decides what her next chapter of life will look like. But this literally could be that. But can we go back to the Seven of Wands character that she may come across? The Hierophant. Well, they could be very important in her life. They could be someone who, even if, look, we meet people in life and we can all be flying high or we can be down on our luck. And we can be typically people that have, very sage advice and are very grounded. And then we can also get ungrounded, right? That's the amazing thing with human emotions, right? We can be completely solid and content one day or even 1 minute, and then the ground could drop out underneath our feet and we feel lost and forgotten and like we forgot what we used to know. And I'm picturing, since he is both this lost little ogre in the woods, a friendly little ogre, I mean that with love, but then he's also a Hierophant. Normally, this person wouldn't be lost. Normally, this person's super tapped into their divine pathway. Normally, this person would be like a leader in their own right. This would be somebody who can, run a whole company. This is, someone who's, they have long-term commitments all around them. They're really very solid. This is Taurus energy. And yet, obviously, he's had a massive upheaval in his life. This is normally a card of blockages, though, but we see him lost. And feeling lost is a form of blockage, for especially for somebody who normally can see the path ahead of them. You notice he's in the forest again, but normally he's, his little skull is all lit up and, his forest is glowing. It's like he lost his compass. I think, is it because he stalled out right where he was supposed to so that our lead character could come across him? By the way, I don't know if our lead character's name or something has like a location in it. Like, I'm picturing like like somebody's name could be like Austin. It's a location and it's a name, or it like an A name or a U name also. Like Una or something like that is coming to mind instead of unicorn. Like Una, that something that has to do with, or even like a name that could be from another culture, but it translates to meaning something like star, or like revered one or special one, or something like that. I just feel like there's something about her name. I don't usually get names or anything even about names. It's pretty rare. It's like twice a year maybe that a name will pop into my head in any of my storytelling, but for some reason it does for her. And I don't know if there is something to do with like a location, her first name or middle name or last name, something to do with that could somehow have something to do with where he's stalled out in life. There could be some weird like crossover that will be another indicator that, oh my God, I got stalled out when I don't normally have that happen to me because I had to wait until I met her. It feels like he's in the right place at the right time to meet her. And I think he's going to get like his mojo back, his light back. This feels like it was time for two people to meet. I'm not saying the universe was like, hey, we're going to make you feel lost and give you a crappy experience all of a sudden just to hold you back so she can come across you and kind of rescue you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying something in his life did stall out, but it seems like in the bigger picture, this character, and we're going to say him, he definitely got stuck, stalled out somewhere in life and got really either fearful, lost his mojo, forgot who he was for a little bit, forgot, his light, forgot what he's capable of, the wonderful things he can achieve. And I do think he needed a muse, or he needed inspiration. He needed this feminine to kind of fly into his life on her hot air balloon. This is perfect for these two. Absolutely perfect. Will he recognize her when she comes kind of, I'll say, drifting into his life? She may enter a room that he's in, and it'll be like she glides in or like she floats in. She could come across as incredibly, like, I'll just say, smooth and soft. The way she moves, there could be something elegant about her. Six of Wands, Queen of Swords. Oh, he'll definitely notice her right out of the gate. He will notice that she carries herself with grace, with dignity. He will notice that she is right there, like in a place of like power, in a place of warmth, of love, of also like clarity. Wheel of Fortune, and he will also know that's the day his fortunes turn around. I think he's needed to meet someone like her. This is definitely like what he's been seeking, he finds in her. Someone who maybe restores his faith a little bit in humanity, someone who maybe represents a new beginning for him. And he's needed that new beginner. We got a new beginning. We've got the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Some kind of like, this is Ganesh, remover of obstacles, right? And maybe he's been hitting his head on a brick wall thinking that he had all these obstacles that he had to work through and he stalled out. But maybe much like her, the obstacle was, I'm not even supposed to be doing this anymore. I'm supposed to be making change. I'm supposed to alter something in my life. She may be a huge source of inspiration to him because she's made change in her life and she's standing tall. She's gone ahead and said, I surrendered something. Maybe he needs to retire early also, or maybe he needs to stop trying to push himself to be the person that he used to be and embrace that he's somebody different now, because it was making him feel really bad about himself. Like, I can't do the same job I used to do the way I used to do it. That's sometimes we say, oh, I'm getting old, I can't do that anymore. When really we shouldn't think of it that way at all. It's that we are more than that. We've done that job long enough that we've learned everything we could. We've gained, the amount of expertise we could, and now it just doesn't hold any more interest for us. And the signs and symbols of that start to show up if, we aren't doing as well in our career path. And it's like, I hit burnout, or, oh gosh, I just got too old and I can't do this, when really maybe it's that we've actually gone beyond it. And that's such a completely different way to look at why a situation doesn't work for us anymore. And I think for a while he was afraid, he was like losing his touch. He was afraid he wasn't doing good enough. He was afraid something in his life that wasn't working for him anymore. It doesn't have to be career. I'm just using that as an example, but it could have been anything. Maybe he felt like he didn't belong in his own life anymore. Maybe he felt like, I don't really have strong connections with the friends I used to. I don't know what's wrong with me. Why am I not, socializing the way I used to? What is it? Maybe he's outgrown the friends a little bit. Maybe he's in a place where he's ready for a divine counterpart. I mean, this is definitely a divine counterpart. We can see that, right? But I don't think there's anything wrong with him. Nothing. He's not actually lost, just like she wasn't either. This is a story of people who've actually moved beyond where they were. And the next chapter of their life, with that Wheel of Fortune, confirms it. Like, they're entering into the next chapter of their life where, we all have different timelines. We all have different life purposes. But what if also our life purpose changes? The same way, to me, it's very feasible to think that our life purpose would change many times over a lifetime, because think of how we grow and change from babyhood to, a 3-month-old is nothing like a newborn. And then a 2-year-old is nothing like a 3-month-old. And then a 7-year-old is nothing like a newborn or a 3-month-old or a 2-year-old. And then a 25-year-old is nothing like a 60-year-old. Think of the changes. How could we be expected to have one life path, one life purpose, when we don't even stay the same size? We don't even stay the same, like, features, like our nose keeps growing, our ears keep growing. We change physically as we morph through different ages. So why would we think everything about us changes, but not our life purpose? We're only supposed to have one. And damn it, if we start to slack off and it's not working for us anymore, we should feel devastated. Hell no, we should feel like we already achieved that and grew beyond it. Not that we're falling apart and we're losing, our touch. I really liked this one because it puts such a different spin on two people that have grown out of chapters of their life and grown into the next adventure. And this adventure they're supposed to have together. I think everything's aligning beautifully. This is just how it's supposed to be. Are they going to be, this is new love for possibly older individuals. That's what I would say. But it's also new life path for older individuals. When I say older, I just mean they've already clearly had life endeavors, life paths that probably lasted significant amounts of their life. They could still be young, but they're in a transition period. But they've been thinking that she wasn't thinking that she was losing anything. He was. And that's just not true. I loved this one. And I think it's so much more I would say more of an accurate reflection of how life actually, how we actually grow beyond experiences and we're ready for the next chapter. Not that we're somehow getting old and, falling apart. All right, I'm going to leave that there. And now I want to pull a card to say thank you for AC. Thank you for all you do for everybody, sweetheart. All right, here we go. All right, so we have got the Lovers card. Lovers is the energy of Gemini, and we've obviously got the twins there. And we got these naked folk riding around on a floating flower up in the sky, which kind of seems like a wonderful and horrifying dream all at the same time. Everybody has a flying naked dreams, right? And those are always wonderful dreams, except, when you accidentally wind up flying over your neighbor's house in your dream and you're like, oh my God, I know any second they're going to look up and see me naked flying, right? That's the only thing that ruins a good flying dream. But that seems to be, we couple it with a 10 of wands, and it looks almost like, I'm glad I went ahead and said that goofy thing that I just said, because this is delightful or In this case, it's like, oh no, it was super stressful, but it should have been delightful. Why was it stressful? Why? This is laying down the stress, but maybe it's realizing that something was more of a dream state. And dreams can be, again, like terrific and freeing. And then they can also be, have those moments of, horrifying, like worry. This Oh, said Juanita, thank you, sweetheart. Sorry, guys, I'm coughing a little bit today, but thank you, Angel. You are so sweet. Please give the boys a scratch behind their ears. This looks like, I think our character has dealt with the highs and the lows, the wondrous and the not so wondrous. But this is them freeing themselves from the whole thing and saying, you know what? Maybe it was a bit of a dreamscape. Sometimes the Lover's card is not a really great card. It's a card of choice, which I like, but it can also be a card of, am I going to choose them? Are they going to choose me? There's so many other choices out there. How do we know which choice to pick? I think it can be a card of indecisiveness, or certainly a card that says, everything has to match up just right. And because there could always be, like, we match in like 52%. But then there's the other 48% that isn't a perfect match. And it's like, okay, so is that a strong enough? Do we have enough things, in one category of matchy match to make this relationship work? When we're that close to the line of, well, 48%, no, but 52%, yes. That's not really a perfectly balanced bond. Hopefully if we're picking somebody, it's because it's like 98% of what we've got is so perfect that little 2% that doesn't click perfectly, who cares? To me, that would be a better bond. The Lover's card is just not, it's not really a perfect match, even though we call it the twins. I look at it as 50-50. Only 50% perfection and 50% it doesn't work. That's not terrific odds of something being super harmonious. And I almost think that that's how our character is looking at something and saying, you know what? Honestly, maybe it was a lovely dream and it was great fun and it was delightful and there was also some stress around it, but it's kind of a relief to recognize that it wasn't, perhaps I could have chosen it and I could have chosen to keep working with it, but there might be a better choice out there as well. There really might be another better choice out there. So I feel like that's maybe the change in all of this. We have got the Three of Cups and it is sideways. That Three of Cups is going to be the energy of, there's other fish in the sea. Maybe I haven't found them quite yet. Maybe I'm not ready to go find any just yet. But this is shared energy. There are people that would like to be with our character, and there are people that our character would like to be with. That Three of Cups says, oh yes, this would be very nice to be able to reach out and connect to another grouping, another soul group, meet other individuals that maybe are more like-minded, look for better ratio of connection than what we had there with that Lover's card. That would be perhaps a much better plan. So let me reach out for the next. Oh my God, Kid the Kid, thank you so much, honey. Oh my goodness, you guys, I am so blown away. You guys are so incredibly generous. Kid the Kid just gifted 5 memberships. Angelina Davina, Tammy Johnson, Christina DePriest, Levin Nitra 2, Amanda Blossom. Thank you guys so much. Welcome everybody. Kid the Kid, I will pull you a card also, but please, after this, I do need to stop. So I'm going to pull just a couple cards for Kid the Kid in just a minute here, but then I'm going to bounce out of here because I'm going to start coughing if I don't. I can feel it coming and I don't want to do that on camera so much. Sorry, guys. We've got a better option out there. We've got a King of Cups. This is somebody loving. This is somebody with a great head of hair. This is somebody who has a lot to offer. This is somebody emotionally stable. This is, I don't know. To me, this says that there's another better lover out there. Now, I could have read this in a different way. It's just not the vibe that I got off of this. But I could have read this as, we have a duo that is confidently choosing each other. And it feels so much relief and relaxation that it's like, wow, I don't need to stress out about this. This is truly the 50-50 blend of I want every bit as much to see you as you want to see me. I'm realizing that this person is really stable in their emotions and they're committing and they are showing up and giving me their energy. That's amazing. That's the way I would mostly look at this. But really, it's like both stories could be true. The right person shows up as we're also releasing kind of the wrong storyline. So this could be simultaneously both stories, if that makes sense. This could be a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. I don't care so much about zodiacs. I care about what it represents. And this represents an emotionally available and warm and wholehearted energy. So very nice on that. You guys are so awesome. Really great to see everybody. Oh, Pam, sweetheart, I didn't get to see. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. You lost your baby of 17 years. I am so sorry. What's your baby's name? Just so we can send you and your baby some love. I hope that you have lots and lots of good memories, and I hope that you can still feel your furry little one watching over you. You sweetheart. That is so tough. Jessica H., that is so true. What a wonderful life. 17 years. Yeah, good mama. You're a really good mama. I think everybody here is feeling it for you right now with you, Pam. I think we're all a bunch of animal lovers, and we love you too. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that happened. Boo Boo? Is that your baby's name is Boo Boo? Aw, that is the sweetest little name. Oh my gosh. And sending you and Boo Boo lots of love. I love that. You guys are such a beautiful community. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Just a second. Get the kid. I'm getting to you in just a second, sweetheart. By the way, this is not asthma. This is just me coughing because I was in the dust today. All right, here we go. Get the kid. Let's see what we've got here, sweetie. We have got the release of judgment, which is the judgment card. But here we have the butterflies of transformation there. Here we have, in this case, we've got this masculine who's kind of been humbled, I'll say, humbled by just life and the transformation that they've gone through. He's kind of like surrendered. He's sitting here by the ocean with his back to the sea, and he's on his knees in kind of like I surrender, but there's also this huge relief. I could picture him having a good cathartic cry and feeling like you see that he's looking at himself in the reflection of the water, sorry, on the beach. And I just feel like he's in this place of being able to like really look at himself, look at his life, look at what his life has been, and then see, I can change the way things have been. Starts with him. Yes, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. So sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. I can always feel when my chest is tightening up and it's like, we're going to make you loud. This person seems to have found more of their love, right? They found more of their energy of kindness, of sweetness. This is a King of Cups. Man, we got a lot of King of Cups energy lately, huh? King of Cups. Maybe this is just a great time in general for characters to get more attuned to their own like internal energy. Like, why live in a space of conflict when life is so much easier when we're kinder, when we're softer, when we're kinder to ourselves, when we express ourselves better, when we express love to others. It just gets better, and it gets well, in this case, he's taming the chaos hippo. So sorry. I'm so sorry. Taming the chaos hippo is I love the chaos hippo. In ancient Egypt, they looked at the hippo as the embodiment of chaos in the universe, because it was, this very fearsome, very ferocious and dangerous beast. And so to be able to be calm in the face of chaos, and to know that like all of our emotions have a time and a place. Maybe that's what this masculine has figured out. We have the Seven of Wands in the reverse. They aren't fighting emotion anymore. They're welcoming it in. If they fought love for a really long time and they realize that that's what they did, they're not doing it anymore. This is, God, they have a lot of good memories, and they have a lot of like whatever has stirred up in their heart. The Judgment card says they're likely going back to regroup. They're not going to let go of something that they once upon a time cared about but were unable to show their emotions for. This looks like a divine masculine. If I'm going to simplify this, a divine masculine is finding his comfort zone with admitting and acknowledging how he really feels about something that had great importance in his life, or someone who had great importance in his life. That's really nice. Strong Scorpio energy on this as well. But mostly it's that he's changed. He may be almost unrecognizable. I mean, here he's got like little garland of flowers in his hair too. So really nice. Okay, I'm going to get out of here before I keep making a bunch of noise. I'm so sorry, everybody. So good to see you. Oh, AC, thank you, Angel. Thank you for all you do. You guys are so wonderful. Every single one of you. Thank you, everybody. Oh, I used to love him. Are you struggling too? Oh, San Juanita, you sweetheart. It is so good to see you too. Right back to you, sweetie. Hugs to everybody out there. Thank you guys. I'm sorry this was such a noisy video between me coughing and Aries. Thank you guys for all the love and all the support, and especially to Pam and to anybody out there who's going through any losses or any difficult days right now. I know everybody here is such a supportive community, and I cannot thank you guys enough for how nice it is. Like, I really love being here. You have no idea. All right, you guys, I'm going to disappear. Thank you again, Small TV, also, and anybody else that I forgot to thank. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm going to disappear. Bye.